There's a new term floating around in some Masonic circles, and I really like it because it is very suitable for the situation it's describing. What is this word? Zombie lodge. I guess it's two words. Zombie lodge. No, it's not a lodge just for zombies. It is a lodge that in itself is a zombie. So, what the heck does this mean? What am I talking about? So, a zombie is something that is neither living nor dead, right? It roams the earth in search of warm bodies, in search of the living, trying to, and it's indiscriminate about who it gets. It just wants people, right? It's dead. It needs people. So this is a zombie lodge. It's a lodge that is neither living nor dead. It's not healthy, but it won't go away. It just won't die. These are lodges that have the minimal amount of people ever to show up. They may not even meet as often as they're supposed to. They fudge the numbers on their minutes. They keep people, just recycle them through the lineup. Most, or if not the majority, well, I guess that's most. The majority of the membership may not even be from that town. They're probably plural members. These are zombie lodges. These are the bane of Freemasonry. Why? Because well, if you look at any portrayal of a zombie, is it something pleasant to look at? No. Zombie lodges are also not something pleasant to look at. So they're the decrepit, falling apart buildings that you see especially in rural areas. Many small towns, they have these decrepit, falling apart lodges. They're definitely not appealing. They don't look good. They're not benefiting the fraternity in any way. And the membership is I mean, they're just keeping the building alive just for a second, keeping it alive. So yeah, it's a bad thing. Zombie lodges are terrible, and I don't understand. Well, I do understand. You have these people that just struggle to keep these organizations just doing them everything they can just to keep it afloat. And for those people that are doing that, some of you may be watching this, I really want to ask you, to what end? Why are you working to keep it afloat? If if your lodge has a great history you're trying to keep alive, your lodge history doesn't go away just because the lodge itself goes away. And are you really behooving the memory of what was probably once a great organization in your community by keeping this decrepit, falling apart building and minimal membership going? No. You're think about it. I mean, really. So, and other lodges are just keeping things going. Just I don't know. I think they hope like some kind of Masonic genius will come in and join the organization out of the blue and take everything under his wing and just save the organization. But we also know that there have been brothers that have joined the organization and have been really excited and really have pushed for everything. Everything that I just described. This Masonic, just this golden child, just to come and save the organization. He has all these traits, and then as soon as this guy actually shows up and he's trying to do things for the organization, he gets resistance. Why are we? Well, we never did things that way. No, no, no. We want you to save the organization by doing things the way we always did it. So there's really only two cures for three cures, actually. Three cures for a zombie lodge. Just like zombies on movies, there's only one way to get rid of a zombie, right? Well, there's only three cures. We have more options as far as getting rid of zombies. The first one is your lodge, that golden child can show up. Your lodge can start embracing new ideas, embracing changes, willing to go out of its comfort zone, and there's always a possibility that this will do good things for your lodge. Absolutely. And I firmly believe that more lodges than not would probably benefit if they would just, once these people jumped in and got involved in the organization, if they allowed them to start making suggestions and rolling with new ideas. Probably be a good thing. The other option is you can merge with a lodge, and this is not a bad thing, and it's also not the sign of a dying organization. Healthy organizations are always rebalancing themselves. If you look back at older lodges, if you look back at the minutes, particularly around like the early 1900s, my lodge, for example, around the early 1900s, absorbed a lot of local rural lodges. And this was around the time that dirt roads were kind of going out of style, automobiles were becoming more common, things were becoming more paved. And so old communities that really are nothing more than a sign on the road now used to have their general stores and lodges and all kinds of things like this. Once people started traveling more, it just made more sense. Everyone would just go to the local community, the bigger local community. And so I think we're still seeing that. But the thing is, back then people probably complained too, but it wasn't necessarily a sign of Freemasonry doing poorly. I mean, really, it was a sign of progress. So, I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 local rural lodges that are now absorbed into the lodge I'm a member of. And the history doesn't go away, nothing like that. It becomes part of this other lodge's history, and it gets honored. And so I think that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing at all. And as the world gets smaller, people it only makes sense to move away to merge these smaller dying lodges, unite with something stronger and healthier. The third option is just to turn in your charter altogether, demise the lodge. It's probably the least desirable, but when you have a tree and it has a branch that has a fungus on it or something, you could just hope that things work out for the best. You can keep watering the tree. You could hope that branch just takes care of itself and gets better. That never happens, right? It just creeps on further down until it gets to the trunk, and then other branches start to get affected. Best thing to do is lop it off, And so if you can't splice something healthy into it, I guess, or splice it with something healthier, or treat it some way, then you just cut it off. You have to. It's better for the whole tree to lose a branch than to let that spread. And a unhealthy lodge is like that. An unhealthy lodge is like that branch with a fungus, because it's going to let anybody in that it can. It's going to take as many people in as it can. It's not necessarily going to worry so much about quality as it is quantity, and you're going to get undesirables into the fraternity, people that really shouldn't be Freemasons. And we see this a lot. It happens on a regular basis. And so, these people can eventually go on to, become officers, become worship masters, become district deputies, even move up further. I'm not saying that has happened, but there's no reason they can't. So it might be for the best. It's definitely one option. But I think it'd be better for most lodges if they looked at merging or just starting to accept new ideas, because what they were doing in the past, regardless of if you've always done it that way or not, is not working. And you can't fix old problems with the same old ideas that caused them. You just it's like you're just going in circles at that point. So anyway, zombie lodges. They're not living, they're not dead, taking in anybody they can get, but they are a detriment to our fraternity. They do more harm than good. There's no point in holding on to a zombie lodge. There's no point in keeping it around. If you can't cure it, then you have to take action on it. And it's easy to kick that can down the road, hoping that some future generation, some future worship master, will be the one to bring it up, and he'll be the bad guy. But really, you're the good guy. If you're taking actions that have to be taken, if you're making the hard decisions, that's leadership right there. See you in the next video, guys.